Two database giants, loved by developers worldwide. Supabase versus MongoDB. Which one really delivers? On the left, Supabase, the open-source Firebase alternative with SQL superpowers. On the right, MongoDB, the flexible, scalable, NoSQL powerhouse. Let's skip the buzzwords and get to the real stuff. Each category earns points, and at the end, you'll see exactly who comes out on top. The result might surprise you. So before we get deep into the nitty-gritty, here's a mind map of what we're actually comparing. We've got price, data structure and modeling, performance and scalability, security and authentication, real-time and integrated features, and, last but not least, ease of use and ecosystem. Trust me, every single one matters depending on the kind of apps you're building. Let's go category by category. All right, first up, price. Supabase comes in with pretty transparent usage-based pricing, starting around $25 a month, which, honestly, makes budgeting much less scary. And because most core services are bundled, you won't get those wild, hidden costs creeping up. But yeah, for heavy-duty, production-level stuff, you probably will need to bump up your plan a bit. Now, MongoDB, here's where things get interesting. There's a free tier, which feels nice for starters or hobbyists. But if you jump into Atlas, which is MongoDB's managed cloud service, production starts at about $60 a month. Oh, and keep in mind, if you want all the bells and whistles, like authentication and storage, you're often tacking on extra third-party stuff. So overall, Supabase takes this one for being a little kinder on your wallet if you're just starting out. Now, let's talk data structure and modeling. Supabase uses the classic relational model: tables, rows, columns, the whole shebang. If you love structured data and want to enforce those relationships, this is your jam. The flip side, it's kind of rigid, so if your data format changes a lot, you might feel boxed in. On the other hand, MongoDB is this wild, flexible, document-based beast. Everything's stored as JSON-like docs, which, honestly, makes your life easier if you keep changing your schema. But with great flexibility comes great chaos sometimes. Data inconsistencies can creep in pretty quick if you don't design carefully, and modeling complex relationships, a bit tricky compared to SQL. So, between structured reliability and wild flexibility, you know what? I'm calling this one a tie. Depends entirely on your workflow. Next, performance and scalability. Supabase is super solid when it comes to OLAP workloads and, of course, reliable transactions. But scaling, it's mostly vertical by default. And setting up horizontal scaling can get, let's just say, technical. Now, if you want to scale to infinity and beyond, MongoDB is practically built for it. It has sharding, clusters, native horizontal scaling, all those buzzwords. This is what folks use for giant, rapidly changing datasets. The catch? Sometimes you've got to compromise a bit on super strict write consistency. And frankly, the top-shelf features are locked behind those shiny Atlas tiers. Long story short, MongoDB takes the trophy here. It's a real powerhouse when your app goes big. Oh, and here's something cool. Did you know MongoDB's name actually comes from humongous data? Seriously, I did a double take the first time I heard that. Makes sense now, right? Moving on, security and authentication. Supabase seriously nails this, with authentication baked right in. Email, OAuth, you name it. Plus, row-level security means you have fine-grained access control, which is just chef's kiss for sensitive apps. Sure, it leans on PostgreSQL best practices, but that's really more of a quirk than a flaw. With MongoDB, it has all the frameworks: username, password, LDAP, X509, etc. Plus, enterprise-level security for companies that care about compliance. But here's a twist. There's no built-in user auth. You have to configure it yourself or bolt on something external. So, for out-of-the-box safety and less setup headache, Supabase wins again. Now, real-time and integrated features. Supabase is out here with real-time updates ready to go, which, honestly, is such a relief if you've ever had to glue together your own pub sub. Layer on REST APIs, storage, serverless functions, all built in. The advanced triggers take a bit of SQL foo. But for most devs, real-time is just click and go. MongoDB has change streams for real-time stuff, but getting those going isn't exactly plug and play. It's more setup. And while aggregation pipelines are amazing for smart analytics, you don't really get easy dashboards or API generation handed to you. So for built-in magic, Supabase scores again. Last category, ease of use and the ecosystem. Supabase really feels like it's designed for beginners and rapid MVPs. The dashboard is intuitive. Plugins get you moving fast. Plus, SQL is familiar to a lot of devs. But honestly, if you're planning something extremely complex for production, it can start to feel limiting. Now, MongoDB is kind of the old guard. Tons of tools, massive community, and support for just about any deployment you can imagine, whether it's cloud, on-prem, or hybrid. The catch? MQL, Mongo's query language, has its own learning curve, and rapid prototyping isn't quite as snappy as Supabase. So, for friendly vibes and speed, Supabase walks away with this one. Okay, let's wrap all that up into a quick visual rundown. If you stack up all the scores head-to-head, you'll see Supabase wins most categories for easy setup and integrated features. MongoDB definitely flexes hard when it comes to scalability and flexibility. Does your project need built-in real-time updates and authentication? Or do you need to wrangle massive, unpredictable data sets? That's the big question. All right, here's my 2 cents. If you're sprinting towards a quick launch and need a backend that does almost everything out of the box, real-time, authentication, dashboards, you name it, Supabase is honestly a no-brainer. If your app or company is dealing with huge, constantly changing data, or you love the wild freedom of flexible schemas, MongoDB's ecosystem is where you'll thrive. It's not really about better or worse. It's all about what you and your project actually need. If you want to support our channel, feel free to use our affiliate link given in video description. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.